This is some seriously crazy stuff. Toyota-owned automaker halts Japan production after admitting it tampered with safety tests for 30 years. This is not just one rogue employee. 30 years? The shutdown will last through at least the end of January, affecting roughly 9,000 employees who work in domestic production. Last week, Daihatsu announced an independent third-party committee had found evidence of tampering with safety tests on as many as 64 vehicle models, including those sold under the Toyota brand. And if you remember earlier this year, I actually reported on this story. The scandal is another blow to the automaker, which had admitted in April to violating standards on crash tests on more than 88,000 cars, mostly sold under the Toyota brand in countries such as Malaysia and Thailand. And these are not just like, 2 or 3 or 4 cases. No, 174 cases. Interestingly, the oldest case was tracked back to 1989, with a noted increase in the number of cases since 2014, the report said. But if you really look into this, you'll understand, did they just get more bold with time? Or did they just get better with hiding the old stuff because it happened such a long time ago? I think they just were able to hide everything from the past. So while Reuters is trying to make a story out of Tesla about parts that are not defective according to NHTSA, but maybe are just not as good as they could be, they're not really on this story all that much compared to how much they're focused on Tesla. I mean, they still reported this story, but it was more of an afterthought. So shame on Toyota, but also shame on Reuters, because they seemingly have some double standards here. Why don't they announce a full-scale investigation into everything Toyota? There are probably many more shenanigans hidden. But we know that many corporations just care about looking good, despite actually doing evil. I mean, that was just pure evil. Tampering with safety tests? Wow. Matt Smith really put it best. I love that Tesla bears are absolutely convinced that Elon Musk is a fraud. Meanwhile, their erstwhile star Trevor Milton, the former leader of Nikola, is in jail. The former leader of Nissan had to be smuggled out of Japan in a box, and both Volkswagen and now Daihatsu, Toyota, admit to forging emissions or safety results. It is just sad. Oh boy, the consumer is moving away from Tesla, says Gordon Johnson. Meanwhile, Tesla is about to have its very best quarter ever. I'm gonna come back to the Circus show a little bit later. We still got some news to go through. There are actually multiple Circus performances today. We're gonna check out Craig Irvin as well, the guy that says that Tesla has nothing that Toyota doesn't already have. You know, English is not my first language, but I still understand the difference between a supercharger that you use to charge an electric vehicle and a supercharger that you put in a gas-powered vehicle. I am very well aware that I need to work on my English, but this guy is just on another level. Okay, this one is a bit hilarious. While charging at a Tesla supercharger, my car unexpectedly started emitting smoke. I exited the vehicle and unplugged it from the supercharger. I called 911. And the police and the fire department were dispatched. Adding to the frustration, the roadside assistance informed me of a $300 charge to flatbed the car to Tesla, as it was undrivable. My car is only 9 months old, and I'm not satisfied with the entire process so far. But as far as I can tell, the car simply just had to blow off some steam. It was just steam. This can happen if your car has a heat pump. Sawyer made a pretty good point here. Basically, he's saying that the $7,500 EV tax credit until now wasn't really a $7,500 EV tax credit for most people, because if you only make, let's say, $20,000 in a year, and your tax liability is super low, you're getting almost none of that $7,500. But starting with January 1st, in just really a few days, that is going to change, and you will get the full tax credit as long as you meet the income requirement. And it will be applied in full at the point of sale. So, for example, my understanding is as long as a household makes less than $300,000 if it's a married couple, then you're getting the full $7,500. Because under the new mechanism, consumers would essentially transfer the federal tax credit to the car dealer. So not only is it going to be easier to get that $7,500, actually you will get the full thing now. This is like a double whammy, but a good one. Some of the delivery numbers from Europe are now coming out. Italy is on track to have its biggest quarter ever, but it will largely depend on Germany and the UK how well Tesla does overall in Europe. These two countries are the wild cards here. Everywhere else we should do pretty well. A quick Cybertruck update. Tesla is actually enforcing one order per customer rule for Cybertruck. So if you have multiple orders, yeah, you're out of luck here.